everyone. Dr. Frankie here, and I'm thrilled to be here with you all for another episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about coping with anxiety when dating. And I know for me, I certainly have dealt with anxiety in my life, and many of us deal with it day to day, some in a much broader sense, and others where they just struggle with anxiety in a specific way. And I know dating can be really anxiety inducing for folks. So I thought covering this topic would be a good idea, be helpful. And also in the climate that we're living in today, no matter, I'm in the US, I know I have listeners all over the world, but I think we're all feeling way more anxious and way more self-critical today because of the internet. We're exposed to all sorts of bullshit that causes us to question our value, our worth. Are we good enough? Is there anybody out there that would, desire me? Maybe there is nobody out there that would be a good match for me. I mean, it brings up so much uncertainty. So I just want to just name that and let you know that you're not alone. And I'm going to share with you today how to cope with some of this anxiety, because if we allow anxiety to get in the way, excessively or extensively, it really will hinder our ability to be successful, to find somebody great, to be present for that person and available. And it weighs us down. So it's absolutely something that we can deal with, cope with, and treat, if it's interfering. And there's lots of tools. So let's just jump in. So how do we cope with anxiety when dating? It's completely natural to feel some anxiety about dating. It can feel very vulnerable, and putting yourself out there in pursuit of human connection is difficult and uncertain. It seems unfair then that dating anxiety makes it even harder to do so, but it's a reality. So if you're ready to put yourself out there and work on finding love, but are having trouble navigating the anxiety that comes up when you try to do so, today I'm going to share with you some really helpful tools and some advice. So hopefully you'll experience some relief around it. Do you have dating anxiety or anxiety in general? Is dating an area of unique stress and worry in your life? Maybe it's based on a specific concern, like feeling inexperienced after having coming out later in life, feeling gun shy after past toxic relationships, or concern about stigma, violence, or fetishization. I never can say this word. Being fetishized, basically, if you're dating a fat, disabled, or trans person. Maybe you're cool, calm, and collected in virtually every other circumstance, at work or school or in social settings, but the idea of asking someone out in particular makes you break out in hives. Or maybe you feel some of the anxiety and nervous system overwhelm you associate with dating in other situations as well. You worry deeply about being chastised by your boss, even though they generally do give you positive feedback. You worry excessively about being fired out of the blue. You feel deeply stressed out by the idea of making new friends or reaching out to the ones you already have. What if they're mad at you or you annoy them? You've got all these thoughts, right, about it. If the latter sounds like you, the best route to addressing your anxiety might be to address your overall anxiety, because it's not specifically about dating, right? It sounds like there's a lot of things you worry about. It's best to work with a therapist or a counselor to figure out the best way to proceed. They may recommend a specific approach or modality that works best for you when you've worked together for a while and they understand more about your anxiety specifically. And they may also refer you to a psychiatrist to explore medication. And it may be that you don't need to be on medication forever. It may be that right now the circumstances that you're experiencing are feeling really overwhelming and they're interfering with your ability to reach your goal or your objective. And sometimes we can use medication to augment and support us in getting to where we want to be or where we want to go. Do you have dating anxiety or anxious attachment? Anxiety and anxious attachment are unsurprisingly similar in some ways. Both may lead you to fixate on what could go wrong in dating or relationships and how you could try to prevent it. Both may have you people pleasing and worrying about being alone or being rejected. However, they're actually not the same thing. In fact, if your dating anxieties primarily center around being trapped or suffocated, or that your date will move too fast or too soon, you may actually have avoidant attachment. And most importantly, they have different solutions. Anxious attachment is based on your nervous system and your oldest, most formative relational experiences. Trying to manage it as simple anxiety won't be helpful and may be actually counterproductive. If the things you're primarily experiencing that you're seeing as anxious include whether your date is attracted to or seeing other people, liking your date more than they like you, how you compare to others for your date, worrying about when someone will call or text you, persistent fear of a date abandoning or breaking up with you, how to make a date happy enough that they'll want to be with you, constant desire for reassurance that your date likes or is attracted to you, then it may be worth looking into your attachment style more deeply and exploring how it's impacting your approach to dating and relationships if any of these ring true for you. Ironically, following the cues of an anxious attachment style can actually make some of your dating worst fears more likely to come true. So it's worth doing the work to unpack some of this phenomenon. What story are you telling yourself about dating and romance? If neither of the above that I just described apply to you, or even if they do, and you're facing pure, unadulterated panic every time you open a dating app or think about texting the cute girl you met at the Super Bowl watch party, it might be helpful to unpack what your anxiety is actually telling you. What are your internal thoughts and beliefs about dating that feel so high stakes? What does dating represent to you, consciously or unconsciously? For instance, it's common for us to feel like dating is a referendum on our attractiveness, and that the reaction of any given person to us speaks to whether or not anyone will ever find us appealing. Or you may feel like dating is causing you to dwell on your worth or your value as a person or partner, and like not having the dating outcome you want means you have nothing to offer. Dating can involve the fears and the anxieties of a lot of other parts of our lives as well. Being on the apps may make you feel like you're the only single person over 30 on earth and that you're the only one single at your age. Start to work on noticing these thoughts as they come up and slow down to pay attention to what they actually contain. Are your worries about your desirability, your future, your social standing, being ashamed or embarrassed, getting into another bad relationship, or having a partner break your trust? Noticing this won't make the anxieties go away overnight, but it will make it easier and less overwhelming to actually work with them. How can you shift your goals and your priorities? Often we have big anxieties about selfhood or the future when it comes to dating because dating has come to symbolize big things for us, like our desirability, our goodness, our ability to be okay. Cutting dating down into something more manageable can help the anxieties around it become more manageable too. Think about what your goals and your hopes are when it comes to dating. It's likely that if you're honest with yourself, there's something like find true love, meet the one, have the best sex of my life, things like this. These aren't goals you should give up. You deserve true love and the best sex of your life. But on a day to day basis, these can set us up for deep disappointment if any given dating situation doesn't work out, because we feel like we're losing out on our chances for happiness. Also, most of these goals rely on factors that are way outside of our control, which means we end up feeling helpless a lot of the time. Instead, try making specific, manageable dating goals that are more about what you can take action on yourself and less about amorphous outcomes. For example, you can't go on dates if no one messages when you match on a dating app. So make it a goal to send the first message every time you match with someone. Instead of focusing all your energy on whether each new date is going to be the one, make it a goal to see as many new places or restaurants around town on dates as possible so that you still accomplish something even if a date falls flat. Most importantly, remember to focus on what you think of each date you meet and whether you like them. It's easy to get wrapped up in whether we're being liked or desired or performing well and forget to even check in with ourselves about whether we even like the person sitting across from us. You know that phenomenon where you're like, someone expresses interest in you and they're showing you that they like you and you're like, oh my gosh, they like me, they've picked me. And then as a result, you're like, I guess I like them too. It's important for us to stay connected to our own desires and interests and know, are we choosing this person? Are we liking this person? So definitely slow down and get introspective. Practice makes perfect. As much as you may dread hearing it, the best way to get over dating anxiety is to go on as many dates as possible. And the best way to learn how to handle rejection is to shoot your shot frequently. Think about the first day you started a new job. You were probably fairly nervous, maybe even into the first week or first month. But after months or years there, the job becomes the opposite of anxiety inducing. It becomes boring. With enough practice, dating will become boring too until you meet the right person who makes everything feel exciting. So that's what I got for y'all today. Love you. So glad you're here with me on this journey. And I hope that you take something away from today. And if you know somebody out there or more than one person that would benefit from today's topic, share, share, share. And I'll see y'all next week.